Thank you, Handsome Dan, and once again we welcome you inside James L. Robb Gymnasium, where we're set for the guys' game in this Appalachian Athletic Conference matchup. It's the Tennessee Wesleyan Bulldogs playing host to the #1 team in the conference for the second straight time here at home, the Columbia International University Rams. The CIU Rams come in as the top seed in the Appalachian Athletic Conference on the men's side, and their one loss overall, and of course that's in the conference, is to Tennessee Wesleyan University, which occurred earlier in the season where the Bulldogs went over there and won it in overtime 84-82. I just talked to Coach Randy Casey before the game a little bit and was asking him, what was the key to it over there, and he said the speed. CIU is a slower speeded team, he felt like, and the speed of Tennessee Wesleyan, he thinks they can use it to their advantage of getting up and down the floor and pushing the pace of it. Also mentioned that really they had a chance at the end of regulation to win the game, but could not get it done in that time. But they did use an 8-6 overtime period to win it 84-82 in that previous matchup. Bulldogs were led by two players in 20-point games, and that was our halftime guest of Peyton West in the girls' game earlier. 28 points with 6 boards, and then Amari Young had 25 rebounds along with 3 steals to his credit. Jay Reed had 9 points, 7 rebounds for the Bulldogs, 8 points and 5 boards by Manny Cordado, and 7 points and 6 rebounds by Ty Hurst. That was the starting fives stats and the leaders of that game for Tennessee Wesleyan. On the other side, for the Rams, they had 2 players in double figures. Number 13, Christian Howard, who is not with the team tonight. He had 18.6 boards in that game. He averages 15.4, good for second in the game, on the team for the CIU Rams. And then they also had number 2, Reed Varga, 16 points, 4 boards for his count in their double figure category. The leading rebounder was Johnny Wysong with 8 rebounds for the Rams. The Bulldogs and the Rams, each of them shot above 45%. It was Tennessee Wesleyan shooting 50.7% from the field. The Rams 45.3%. Behind the arc, Wesleyan had one of their best games as well, 45% to the 35% for the Rams. And then the charity stripe, Wesleyan's worst one so far this season. They were 7 of 15, 46.7%. They do not shoot the ball well from the charity stripe, but they've also not spent a whole lot of time at the charity stripe this season. In terms of rebounds, Wesleyan had one of their better nights rebounding. They had 35 in that one, but it was a 39 rebound night for CIU in that matchup. CIU did collect 12 steals against the Bulldogs, forcing 19 turnovers, which is the worst game the Tennessee Wesleyan has had. So when you can have 19 turnovers and still win the ball game, that speaks for the way the rest of the game was going for Tennessee Wesleyan and head coach Randy Casey in his first season. Of course, he's assisted by Jaron Tall. They come in tied for 8th in the conference. They are 4-6 inside Appalachian Athletic Conference play, but it was last Wednesday where they beat Bryan, who had eclipsed the top spot, over CIU just because of the number of wins that they had in conference play. Bryan was the top seed in the conference, and Wesleyan knocked them off last week in a final score of 85-71, big convincing fashion in that rivalry game. They go on the road and lose to Pikeville 89-65, and it was just a game where Coach Casey said they could never get their legs under them on Saturday up in Pikeville on a long road trip. Of course, he got to go back home. He spent some time at U-Pike coaching, and in that Kentucky area has become home to him. And so it was a bittersweet time of having to deal with a loss on the road in conference play, but getting to see family and friends come cheer his Bulldogs on as well was good. On the other side, for the Rams, again, they're preseason 6th and currently sit in first place. Tony Stockman, he's in his sixth season there at CIU and has been an outstanding coach for them, has his Rams competing every year at the top of the conference. He's got Corey Emnon by his side in his second year, Jared Tucker and Ian Moore, a couple other assistants. They've won the last 10 games in a row. Their last loss, of course, was Tennessee Wesleyan back on November 16th. They went on to beat Truett McConnell after that on the road at Kentucky Christian. They beat Columbia, who is a new men's team on the Appalachian Athletic Conference roster. They've had a women's team for the last couple of times. They've played a couple of out-of-conference games. They've won at Johnson. They've beat Reinhardt. They beat Union on the road. They beat St. Andrews at home, Milligan at home, which is another tough game. And then they've got Tennessee Wesleyan here tonight. When you look at the Bulldogs, they score 77.3 points per game compared to the 85.9 points per game by CIU. And that's good for first place in the conference. CIU and really most of their team stats are in the top 5 to 7 teams overall. They're first in the conference in field goal percentage at 51.3, first in the conference in three-point percentage, 42%, first in assists per game, 17.3, and then they hold their opponents to only 28.4 from behind the arc percent-wise, and 32 rebounds per game. Those are good for first in the conference standings as well. Tennessee Wesleyan, on the other hand, they do force 11 turnovers per game, and they also get 8 steals per game, so those are good for third in the conference. They are 8th in the conference, 43.5%, so almost 8% difference between the two programs. So it's going to be a tough matchup here for the Bulldogs, but being hopefully on their home floor now that they finally picked up 2 wins at home will be good for them coming up, as they are 2-4 overall here at James L. Robb. Again, 4-6, so they're trying to get it going a little bit more. They've lost some close ones here at home, which includes losses to Johnson here at home by 4. They've lost by 6 at Bluefield. They've lost by 4 against Milligan. So they've had some very back and forth games on the road and at home, just trying to piece everything together. They do have everyone healthy tonight. They've got Stratton Lavorne back, so a full roster for Tennessee Wesleyan as it sits tonight. So let's look at your starting lineups here first as we get set to get into this one. Tony Stockman's Rams will start number 2, Reed Varga, 6'3" senior guard from Piedmont, South Carolina. Number 3, James Davis, 6'3" junior guard. He was a conference player to watch in the preseason from Youngstown, Ohio, both of those averaging 6.1 points per game. Number 4, Will Kelly. He is their leading scorer at 15.8 points per game. He's been a conference player of the week as well. He's a 6'3" junior guard from Belmont, North Carolina. Number 23, Brandon Hunt, 6'9" senior forward, 10.5 points per game from Williamston, Mississippi. And let's see, 33, Johnny Wysong, 6'6" sophomore forward from Easley, South Carolina, averages 9.3 points per game. Their leading rebounder as well at 6.3. As Christian Howard, as we mentioned, not in the lineup tonight. His name scratched off the list. He 6.4 rebounds and 15.4 as he leads the team in a lot of those stats. Vargas second in the Vaughn, J.J. Vaughn, point guard, 8.4 coming off the bench. He's second in the conference in three-point percentage, and then Jalen Jeter, another guy coming off the bench, is third in the conference in three-point percentage. So we'll see how that goes for them. Other side for Randy Casey, again in his first season here at the helm of the Bulldogs. Number 4, Jay Reed, a 6'5" senior guard / forward, 10.2 points per game from Birmingham, Alabama. Number 11, Amari Young, 6 foot senior guard, averages 12.2 points per game from Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Number 20, Peyton West, is a 6 foot senior guard, averages 9.5 points per game from Monterey, Tennessee, transferring in from Ball State. Number 22, 6'9" freshman forward, Armando Cordado from Almeria, Spain. And then 30, Ty Hurst, the 6'5" senior forward, 13.7 points per game to lead the Bulldogs from Knoxville, Tennessee, along with 5 rebounds per game. And Jay Reed leads the team at 6.8 rebounds per game. So Tennessee Wesleyan, home white uniforms, blue numerals, Columbia International, navy blue uniforms, Rams logo on the front with yellow numerals and white trim. The navy blue look, their main color. It's Cordado jumping against Hunt. And the tip does go to the Rams. It will be controlled by Davis. Davis going to work it up the floor first here for the Rams. They work it out on the perimeter to Kelly. Kelly, again, been a player of the week in the conference already this season. It's going to be Davis on the left wing. Drives inside. Little running floater, no good. And Young will pull down the rebound here for Tennessee Wesleyan. Bulldogs will try to strike first against the top team in the conference. Bulldogs are 5-1 in a young series with them. And Cordado is going to get it started first for Tennessee Wesleyan. Out for the feed from Peyton West. The Bulldogs will take the 2-0 lead here early. Again, appreciate you tuning in as three-pointer off the mark, but CIU gets a rebound from Hunt, and we're tied up at 2 apiece. Appreciate you tuning in on this MLK Day and Inauguration Day, but also, you know, it's college football night as well, title game. But Bulldogs trying to knock off the top team in the AAC here in basketball. Young gets a screen from Cordado, goes right side, working against Davis, goes into the paint. Up and under Davis he goes, and he converts it. Amari Young puts them back in front by 2. Just a minute 20 gone here in the first half of action for the boys. It's going to be Kelly out front. West guarding him. Now Varga. It's going to be Davis. High post feed. Varga, and then inside it's going to be a feed to Davis, and he gets free to tie us right back up 4 apiece. Both teams trading buckets early. Not to be unexpected. Now Cordado catches off a baseline feed by West. Goes up strong, cannot connect. Out of bounds off of Wesleyan, they will say, as Jay Reed and Peyton West were down there trying to get it. Coach Casey telling the big Spaniard to just go up there and grab it. Don't try to tip it in. West going to apply. Well, he's just going to shadow Kelly, it looks like. So Peyton West, outstanding guest at halftime of the women's game. Getting a big spotlight, and then a hold call on Amari Young, it looks like. Inside, they were trying to get Hunt free for a cut to the basket and got held up a little bit. The pass was overthrown anyway, but Wysong gets it. Kelly puts it on the floor, sends it right side. Looks like he traveled to the top of the key. Pass deflected. Hurst got a hand on it. Nobody else saw it except for Davis. He's got it now on the perimeter. Gets it in. Wysong knifing through the lane, trying to draw some contact, and CIU is going to take their first lead. Amari Young trying to get all the way in. Gets it to Coronado. The bucket and the foul is good. And the Bulldogs tie this one up just after CIU took the lead. Foul is on Johnny Wysong, his first, team first. Cordado at the line. And he makes it. Gives the Bulldogs the lead right back. Lead's changed hands twice now. Been tied twice, or 3 times as well. Backcourt pressure by Reed, and now West get trapped in the corner, and then Wesleyan's hurt. West going to get called for his first. He went low to get the ball, and the official said he pushed him. So the second team foul is right here in front of the scorer's table. Now it's going to be side out of bounds. Warga in, gets it into Kelly. Davis back to Warga, or to Kelly. 3-pointer off. West collects the rebound. West head up, literally threw it off the head of Cordado. Hurst picks up the loose ball. Baseline jumper is good for Ty Hurst. Bulldogs up by 3. 3 minutes played so far in this one. Pass across half court into the hands of Kelly. Euro steps through the lane. Layup no good. Cordado gets the rebound. He'll clear it out to Hurst. Hurst head up, looking at West. Now Reed goes baseline, spins, layup. Doesn't get the home roll for him. It was a good look, just couldn't get it to connect. Here comes Davis in transition. High post feed to Wysong, over to Warga. 3-pointer off the mark, collected by Reed. Bulldogs trying to keep it on the perimeter. Hurst with it. Now it's going to be inside. Cordado kicks it out. Gives it to Young. Young drives left side of the paint, drops it over to Cordado on the cut. Cordado trying to be strong inside, and it just bounces up and over the rim. Now a 3-pointer at the top of the key by Hunt. The big man trying to knock that one down, doesn't work out. Both teams slowing the pace a little bit here offensively. 9-6, Tennessee Wesleyan in front. 4.5 minutes gone. Reed working his way to the low block on the far side. Little sky hook, and still doesn't get the home roll. That's twice Jay Reed. He's had one fall off the rim. It's going to be Kelly bringing it up the court. Now he hands it off to Davis, top of the key, guarded by Young. Kelly backing his way down. Three-pointer launched up by Wasong, no good. Reed battling Hunt for the rebound. Rolls it off his hand. Up he goes to Young. Young, skip pass out to West. Three ball on the way for Peyton West, and Karam's off the rim, no good. Anticipating that one a little too much here. As told him during halftime, it always looks like it's going in off of Peyton West long-range shots. Feed down low on the baseline. They're going to get a second foul on Peyton, though. On the baseline as he and one of the players for CIU, couldn't see who it was, hit the deck. So Wesleyan's going to get a trio of substitutions in. Cordado will check out. Actually, just two subs. Cordado and West out. Carradine Hardrick, number 2, junior from Deltona, Florida, in. And Charles Neverton checks in as well, number 12. And Ty Runyon is in as CIU converts a offensive set on the inbounds. 1-point game, 9-8. Ty Runyon, the sophomore from McMinn County, Tennessee, right here. And Charles Neverton, the junior from Baltimore, Maryland. Three-pointer off the mark by the Bulldogs. Reed hustling, trying to tip it around. Instead, CIU recovers the long rebound. CIU, it's going to be number 1. Jalen Jeter takes a three, missed it. Reed tips the rebound over to Hurst. Here comes Runyon. Runyon pushed the pace, has to circle it back out on the perimeter. Hurst setting a screen for Runyon on the right side. Runyon between the legs, hands it off to Reed, away from the basket. Reed crossover, trying to get free of his defender. Fights through a lot of contact. Hardrick gets a good offensive rebound. Going up strong into the paint. He'll get 2 shots at the foul line coming his way. This one's going to be the second on Johnny Wysong. It's also the second on the Rams, of course. Carradine Hardrick going to step to the line. First one is good for Hardrick. Pushes it back to a 2-point game. Just under the 14-minute mark remaining. CIU coming off their worst field goal shooting night against Milligan, 38%. And only 5 offensive boards. As Hardrick converts both at the line, makes it a 3-point game. Ties the early largest lead. Neverton and Runyon and Hardrick in the backcourt trying to prevent a press break. Here's Hunt with it, top of the key. It's going to be Jeter. Jeter looking around. J.J. Vaughn running the baseline. They're going to try to get it. Those 2 guys, best 3-point shooters on the team. It's going to be Jeter, a step back long 2, missed it. Stratton Lavorne, who checked in for the Bulldogs from Shelbyville, Tennessee. Chases that one down in the corner, and he gets it up to Runyon. Runyon, Euro step, throws it up with the left hand, missed it. Ball tipped around. Jeter comes away with it for the Rams. Pass goes far side. Kelly, long 2. And it's only a 2, they say. So it'll keep the Bulldog lead at 1. 11-10. Hurst with it, left wing, drives into the free throw line area. Jumper off the mark. Wesleyan has gone cold. Now shooting 4 of 13 from the field. Jeter lost the handle on the way up. Lavorne may have got a hand on it. Here's Hurst up to Neverton. Neverton into the paint. A lot of contact, doesn't matter. He still makes the shot. Lead right back to 3 once again. 12:40 to play in the half. Cordado coming back to the scorers table for the Bulldogs. It's going to be Kelly taking it off the dribble to the far side. Drops it back to Vaughn. He comes off a off-ball screen. Misses the 3. Neverton picks it up. He'll give it to Runyon to set up the offense. 23 on the shot clock. Plenty of time. Double high screen. Runyon comes right side of it. Now goes back left side of it. Runyon keeping the ball in control, keeping his dribble. Floater in the lane, no good. It was short and out of bounds. It will go off of CIU. Lavorne about had it. Could have been counted as a pass, potentially. Corrado, checks in, placing Hardrick. 7 to shoot. Inbounds coming from Hurst. Lob into the front court. Now back to Hurst. 15-foot fadeaway for Hurst. Doesn't get the roll. Cordado trying to get the rebound. And it bounces off of the CIU heads into the hands of their point guard. They get it up the court here to Jeffrey Clark. Now left side, Vaughn trying to take it. A little step back. Runyon, good job closing out defensively, staying with him. Clark gets it right back from Hunt. Clark goes to the baseline, a little running floater, no good. Gets his own board though. Wesleyan trying to guard him straight up. And CIU converts it on another second chance point. Still a 1-point lead with 11:30 to go in the first. 13-12, Bulldogs in front still. CIU led 6-4. Now Lavorne, top of the key, left open for three, and he got it. Stratton Lavorne. Good to see him back in the lineup. He's been sick last week. The Bulldogs will take the three to push the lead to 4. Expect this game to go back and forth in terms of scoring. Davis stuck at the top of the key, gets it off to Clark. Clark trying to take Lavorne on. And then a foul on the inside. Let's see if it's going to be on Charles Neverton. His first, team 4th. That's going to send Jeffrey Clark the second to the line. 63% shooter from Greensboro, North Carolina. Makes the first one. 10:55 to play here in the first half of action. Young checks back in as Hurst will get a breather. And Clark will have the second one. Freshman guard, 5.3 points per game. Missed it. Cordado battling for the rebound. Clark ends up with the tip out. Vaughn sidesteps the defender. Cordado had the rebound punched out over his head, and so the Bulldogs will get it with 10:46 still clinging. 16-13, 3-point lead. It's rarely been past a one-possession game. It was a minute ago before the free throw by CIU. Runyon bounces it off to Young, guarded very tightly by Jeter. Young trying to get it there to Cordado, but Jeter dropped back defensively. Picked it off. Here comes the Rams. Bulldogs now even in turnovers with the Rams. Out of bounds, they'll say Bulldogs were. Ball hit them while they were standing out. It was either Cordado or Lavorne. Jeter's going to check out. Warga back in. Inbounds coming from Warga. Far side, Vaughn. J.J. Vaughn, the junior from Canton, Ohio, keeping possession of it. Feeds it down low to Malaverge. Apologize for that pronunciation. We'll get it as the game goes on. Gladden from Serbia. Three-pointer missed by Neverton. Jump ball, the call underneath, and it will stay with Tennessee Wesleyan. Now they're going to get their three-point specialist into the game, Rashawn Hampton. He's 5th in the conference in three-point percentage. So this game features the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th best three-point shooters in the Appalachian Athletic Conference currently. As Rashawn averaging 44.1% from behind the arc. Young with it out front, under 10 to play. Young gets a screen from Cordado. Cordado got it and lost it off of his leg. Trying to fight through a double team down low as Warga had come over to help. Hardrick coming back to the scores table. He's going to get Cordado out of the ball game. Inbounds comes to Davis. He'll bring it up. Nope, he'll send it back to Warga. It's going to be Young to get down defensively against Warga. Spins around, keeps the dribble through it. Running floater is good. Andy gets the foul on the far side. A chance to tie this one up. As Wesleyan, Hardrick's help defense called for the foul. Reed Warga will step to the line, 77% shooter, chance to tie this one up at 16 apiece with 9:35 to go. Low scoring affair here so far. And he missed it, so Wesleyan will keep the lead. Young gonna bring it up the floor. Backs it up to the NAIA logo, crosses up left, gets all the way to the rim, and he scores on the left side. Amari Young took a step back like he was gonna set up an offense and then just took it off the dribble all the way to the rim and uncontested at the left side. Here's Vaughn, running floater. No good for Vaughn. Ball tipped away by Hampton, and Neverton trying to chase it down, and he tips it out right in front of Davis. And so the Rams will keep it. Hunt's going to check back in, along with Will Kelly. Again, CIU 14-1 overall, 9-1 in the conference. They are 4-0 on the road. Speaking of number 4, it's going to be Jay Reed checking in for Stratton Lavorne. Reed going to guard Hunt. It comes directly into Hunt on the left block. Trying to back up Reed. Little hook shot, spins out of the rim into the hands of Amari Young. Here's Jay Reed, gets it to Hampton. Hampton, couple of dribbles, looking to see if he can get open look. It's Neverton takes it off the pass, into the paint. Fade away from about 8 feet, and it spins out. Hardrick tried to tip the rebound in, but it's collected by Wysong. Tennessee Wesleyan still struggling to see some shots fall. Davis for 3, missed it, and Amari Young's got 3 straight rebounds for himself as the point guard. 8.5 to go, 18-15. Here's Hampton, corner 3. Off to the back iron, left side, collected by Hunt. CIU takes it this time to the far side. Gets it to Wysong, top of the key. Wysong trying to go all the way in, and they're going to get a foul on Wesleyan's Hardrick. That one just looked like he was right there with him. I don't know that there's a hand check or something on that far side, but nonetheless, Hurst comes to the scorer's table, and he'll replace Neverton. Cordado in for Hardrick. As Carrading's going to pick up his second, team 6th already. Rams with only 2 team fouls. Jumper on the baseline is good there for Will Kelly. It's an 18-17, still a lead for Tennessee Wesleyan by 1. 8:05 to play in the first half of action. Young, step back 3, too strong. Coach Casey unhappy with the play call. It's not what they had drawn up. Here's Davis driving, goes out of bounds off of Davis's hip. Good hands by Hampton. Kind of patting it as he went by, Euro stepping, and rolls out of bounds to the Bulldogs. So again, every time CIU has gotten it down to 1, Wesleyan has at least been able to answer. Another opportunity here. It's Hurst off a handoff from Cordado, gets it to Reed, or now to Young, sorry. 13 to shoot. Young trying to go all the way in, looking for help, gets Reed off the baseline cut. Reed spins in, gets to the left side, lays it up strong with a scoop. And Jay Reed puts the deficit for CIU back at 3. Good take all the way across the lane, and just falling away from the basket, uses the left-handed scoop to put it in. Far side, it's going to be Davis with it. Takes it off the dribble, now to Wysong at the high post. Feed down low to Jeter, and he just totally missed a reverse layup. Now Hampton gets it in transition. Over to Hurst. Hurst drives inside. He'll hand it off to Reed. Reed trying to take Hunt on. Goes up strong on the left side, and back-to-back layups by Jay Reed. Gives the Bulldogs their largest lead of 5. 22-17, 6:46 to go. Bringing it near side is going to be Kelly, the junior guard, looking, trying to set some backdoor screens for some Rams. Missed the 3. Wesleyan battling for it. Young, though, comes away with it. Him and Hampton were collecting. Now Young gets it to Hampton. Hampton finds Reed, far corner. Reed open for 3, missed it. Cordado, backside rebound, blocked out of bounds. And it'll stay with the Bulldogs. It's going to be Jalen Jeter back into the ball game. Hurst with 19 seconds to shoot. Going to key it in. Hurst bounces it in to Young. Young lobs it down to Reed in the short corner. Reed going up against Hunt once again, dribbling his way into the paint. Fade away from 8 feet is good. Jay Reed, back-to-back-to-back buckets for the Birmingham, Alabama native to give the Bulldogs a 7-point advantage here with 6 minutes to play in the first half. And Coach Stockman wants to talk it over. Bulldogs up 24-17 with timeout on the court. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Back in 30. 6:03 showing on the game clock. CIU has seen enough of Tennessee Wesleyan scoring, so Coach Stockman calls the timeout. Bulldogs behind Jay Reed have scored 6 unanswered points to put this lead at 7 now. A little bit more cushion, but nonetheless, you're playing the top team in the conference. I know Randy Casey's got his guys prepared for any runs the Rams can put together after this timeout. Mari Young out there working with his fellow Bulldogs. A couple of fellow seniors and Jay Reed and Ty Hurst talking it over as Hampton and Cordato out there as well. Rams have it far side. Jeter with it. Gives it to high post feed to Hunt. Down low feed to Weissong. Now they kick it around, keeping it inside out game. Looked like a travel, but Jeter comes away with the pass. Now top of the key. Three-pointer up by Vaughn. No good. Or so, Warga. Here's Hurst. Goes up, right side, no good, but he'll draw the 2-shot foul on the block. This one is going to be the 3rd on Weissong. That more or less is going to probably bring the Serbian back to the scorer's table. Nope, he's sitting, because Weissong's got 3 fouls, team 3rd. Hurst at the charity strike for Tennessee Wesleyan here. 64% shooter, converts the first one. 5:38 to play. And Hurst goes 2 for 2 at the line. It's going to be Clark, the second that checks back in for Weissong. Warga in the backcourt with Jeter, trying to get it across. Trying to get it down to that 10-second call. They couldn't. Hunt takes a corner 3 on the far side. No good. Cordato bodies up against Clark in there and prevents a lay-in on the second chance. There's a tip there by Kelly that got it free for Clark to take an extra shot, but good matchup by Cordato. Hands it off to Hurst now. Hurst trying to get all the way in against Clark. Goes up strong and converts the lay-in off the glass. Ty Hurst has pushed the Bulldog lead to 11 now. Just like Jay Reed, he's rattled off the last several points. It's going to be Warga, far side. Young pressuring him up. Young able to get through the first screen. Now the second one gets him cut off. Cordato helps out. Lob down low. Clark. Back out front it comes into the hands of Kelly. Kelly kicks it up to Hunt. Off-ball screen, got him free for 3, but he misses it, and Reed cleans up the board. Hampton hands it right back to Reed. Cordato wanting it down low, gets it on the lob. Little floater in the middle is good for Manny Cordato. 13-point lead now. Bulldogs compounding this largest lead, 30-17 now. Into the paint, a lob to Hunt, and Wesleyan just got mismatched back door. Left him standing wide open, 4:05 to play. That's CIU's first point or bucket in the last 4 minutes. They were held scoreless on the 12-0 run by the Bulldogs. Cordato, baseline feed over to Reed. Reed double pumps, goes up, missed it, battling for the rebound. Out of bounds off of Reed, but good hustle play. Lavorne going to check back in. He'll give Cordato the breather. It's going to be Vaughn checking back in for Warga. Another sub coming in for CIU. James Davis going to replace Will Kelly. Both of those guards being juniors for Tony Stockman. CIU from Columbia, South Carolina, works it across the half stripe. Out front, Jeter with it, guarded by Hampton. 17 to shoot, 3.5 to play in the first. 15-foot. Davis thought about the 3, instead he'll pass it off. Vaughn misses the 3-pointer. Hampton pushing the pace. CIU back completely in transition, and then Wesleyan dribbles it off their leg. Hampton felt like Vaughn hit it, but official right there beside him say it went out off of Hampton at the end. Again, Bulldogs last 3.5 minutes have been on a 12-2 run. Strong pass inside. Hunt goes up, and Hunt's got back-to-back baskets. It's down to a 9-point game. Once again, number 1 team in the conference, CIU not going away. Tennessee Wesleyan got to find an answer here. It's Hurst going up, blocked out of bounds by Clark the second. Neverton going to check in for Jay Reed. And it's going to be a return for Kelly. LaVorn gets inbounds, gets it to Young. Young about tripped up by Davis. Keeps his feet, though, from the NAIA logo. Trying to take Davis off the dribble. Goes up. Little floater in the lane, no good. Somehow Davis comes away with it between Hurst and Young. Davis pushing the pace. And it's going to be tipped out of bounds by the Bulldogs, Neverton. Runyon coming in for Young. Nope, it's going to be Hampton that'll take a seat. Young will stay out there with Runyon. Hunt, the big man, going to key it in near corner on the baseline. Lob comes in to Clark the second. He'll quickly get it to Kelly. Now back to Hunt it goes. Hunt has got his 3rd straight basket, and he has been the answer to 7-point leads for the Bulldogs. It's whittling down from that 13-point lead just moments ago. Hurst far side, working against Clark. Fade away, 15-footer, no good. LaVorn gets the rebound, rockets it to Runyon, kicks out to Young. Young finds Neverton, top of the key for 3, off the back iron, and Clark gets the long rebound. Rams have 2-on-1 break. Runyon helping to catch up. Layup missed, Young collects the rebound. Good job by Ty Runyon to get all the way back to stop that one. Runyon, 3-pointer from the near corner or far corner, missed. LaVorn got the good rebound inside and clears it out with a fresh 20. Clock at 1:45 for the half, and it's a 30-23 lead for Tennessee Wesleyan. Trying to battle against the number 1 team in the conference. LaVorn down low, back to the basket against Clark. Fade away in the lane. Comes off to the left. Runyon battles for a rebound. Missed it, gets it back. Still trying to go up. And now gets the foul on the shot, finally. This one going to be on Clark, Jeffrey Clark the second. Team 4th on the Rams, and so Ty Runyon, the local product of McMinn County High School, will step to the stripe. Makes the first one. Momentarily stops the scoring run by CIU with 1:24 to go. It's going to be Warga back in for Vaughn. Vaughn and Jeter at 48.6 and 48.4 from behind the arc. As Runyon gets both of them. Ty Runyon pushes the lead back to 9, 32-23. Minute 20 to go. It's going to be Kelly trying to take it inside against Runyon. Brings it back up top. Warga with it. A little give and go between he and Kelly is good. And it's 32-25 with 1:09 to play, and Runyon's slow to get up. So he went sliding into the baseline there. And Runyon, everybody checking on him. He's kind of grimacing, but says he's good to play, so CIU got to huddle up for a second, but it's 32-25, Bulldogs in front. Minute 5 to play here in the first half. Appalachian Athletic Conference basketball right here on WJSQ WLAR. Davis picks the pocket of Amari Young, lobs it to Clark for the slam. A momentum play for the Rams. 32-27. Bulldogs still a 2-possession game here. Young trying to take it all the way in. Lost the handle again, this time to Davis on the help of a triple team down low. 10-second differential in game and shot clock. CIU works it to the left wing. Now Warga near the top of the key, gets it to the right side. Back to Warga, it comes on the wing. Now they lob it down low, and Runyon looked like he had good position on help defense against Hunt. And Ty's going to pick up his first foul. Team 7th, so it'll be a 1-and-1 opportunity coming for Hunt. Brendan Hunt, a 67% shooter on the season. He leads the team with 8 points currently. Makes the first one, 32-28. 20.9 showing exactly. There's 0.9 differential on game and shot clock. And Hunt converts both of them, 32-29, 3-point game. Closest it's been. Here's Neverton. Kicks it out to Runyon. They're going to take the last second shot. The shot clock has gone off now. Feed into Lavorne, gets a screen from Hurst. Finds Runyon open for three on the right wing, no good. And Hurst trying to get the rebound is going to get fouled, they say. That one's going to be on Hunt, his first. Team fourth. Team fifth, correction. Inbounds coming from Young, 2.1 showing on the game clock. Young lobs it into Lavorne. He'll fire the three at the buzzer, and it's in there. Stratton Lavorne drills the three as the buzzer sounds. Defender closed out on him, but not quick enough. As the Bulldogs will take the 35-29 lead into the locker room. And Stratton Lavorne, who's missed some time due to sickness of late and family things, and so he's been out of the lineup a couple of games, so it's good to see Lavorne back out there. And the Shelbyville, Tennessee native hits a clutch three there as the buzzer sounds. Wesleyan got it up to 13 once and got it to 9 and 11 a couple of times, but CIU not going away, unfortunately, for the Bulldogs here. But they will take the 6-point lead into the locker room at the half. It's 35-29. Let's go ahead, let's take a 2-minute break, and then we'll bring you some first half stats and chat with the Lady Bulldog coming up here on the Bulldog or on WJSQ. Back in 2 minutes. Back here at halftime of the men's game in this Appalachian Athletic Conference doubleheader, Tennessee Wesleyan. It's been a battle as we expected in the men's side. Back and forth it went early. Bulldogs were able to take a 13-point lead with 4:15 or so left in the first half after Jay Reed and then Ty Hurst went back-to-back on some runs of their own. And it was a 12-0 run there for the Bulldogs in about a 2-minute span, or really 2.5-minute span there. But then the Rams, as you would expect with the top team in the conference, started whittling the lead and coming back on a run of their own to close it out down the stretch after they stopped the scoring run by Tennessee Wesleyan on Ty Hurst's last made shot. CIU came away with a 12-5 run of their own to close out the first half. But the 6-point lead after the Stratton Lavorne big-time three as the defender closed out on that left wing. gives that Bulldog lead of 6 a chance coming into the second half. So as we usually do here when we cover the Tennessee Wesleyan Bulldogs and Lady Bulldogs, we chance for us at halftime of each game to get to know some of the players, and some of those we've talked to already this year have been around for a couple of years, but now we get to talk on one of the fresh faces, and the freshman Jalea Lindsay, who I've already given her a heads up that we'll have to get into this, but she comes to Tennessee Wesleyan from Walker Valley in Cleveland, but has been thrown right into the starting lineup of every game so far. And so I guess first, Jalea, let's talk a little bit about the decision to come to Tennessee Wesleyan, kind of what played into that decision, and you know, was it Coach Rice, Coach Smith, because the coaching change happened in the offseason. So just talk to us a little bit about your recruiting process out of Walker Valley.
Yeah, so to be honest, I thought when my career ended at Walker Valley, that was the last time I would play basketball. So I had become an intern coach on Walker Valley's team throughout the summer and just helped out with them a lot. So we came to Tennessee Wesleyan for one of their play days, and Coach Tucker, who is one of my best friends, that's her grandpa. So Coach Tucker's here, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? Like, are you going to school for basketball? Da-da-da-da. And I was like, no, I think I'm just going to go to Cleveland State and then go to UTK and everything like that. And he was like, well, you know, T-Dub's looking for some extra players to fill the roster. And I was like, no, I didn't know that. And he was like, the coach is here, so let's go introduce you. And I was like, yeah, I'll hear him out. Like, of course. So I was introduced to Coach Smith. And the next day we came back for the play day, and I took a tour of campus and everything like that. And it's just super close to home. I can still be super involved with Walker Valley and everything like that. And I'm close to family, so all the home games they can be at. So that really played in the decision. And I was like, you know what? I'm not ready to hang up the sneakers quite yet. So I was like, might as well. So that's really how I came to T-Dub. So.
And I love that story because it's one of those, like you said, you weren't really looking to maybe play past the high school level, and it's that kind of cutoff where some athletes learn, hey, high school's it, I'm not going to play at the next level. Some get to college level and they're like, all right, I'm not going pro after this, so got to focus on the studies. But sometimes it just falls in your lap of what you're going to do, and Coach Tucker being the one to say, hey, let's go check this out. Coach Tucker's ran camps and stuff for years, and just a phenomenal coach in the local area, and his family ties to coaching are now even deeper and stuff. And so he's got several family members coaching, but obviously being close to home, I assume you're living on campus, but maybe you're making the commute, or you're a commuter student. Okay. All right. So not too bad of a drive from Cleveland up to Athens here, and really in college, not necessarily going every day. So that might help as well, but you might be in practice every day. So
yes.
Talk to us a little bit about your transition from the high school game, because I know Walker Valley and McMinn, they're not the two best girls programs, obviously, but both have been kind of in a rebuilding phase. But nonetheless, you had some big plays for Walker Valley and a part of their success, even against McMinn County and stuff over the last couple of years. But as you transitioned to the college game, not looking to play, how has it changed for you?
I would say definitely the pace of play. It's a lot faster at the collegiate level than it was in high school. Obviously, there's a shot clock now and everything like that, so it does speed up the game, but I love to play fast, so I genuinely love the pace of play. And then also the physicality goes up a level from the high school level to the college level. So,
coming in as a true freshman, would you have expected to start every game you've played in so far at the collegiate level? And maybe that was something that you and Coach Smith talked about, I don't know, but as a freshman at the collegiate level, that's rare sometimes.
I don't know that I expected to start, but in the off season I put the work in and worked my tail off to get to where I'm at. So I think it was just a testament of the work that I put in the off season, and then obviously Coach Smith putting that trust in me and instilling confidence in me to be like, no matter what, if you're a freshman, you're good enough to start here. So I would say I don't think I expected to start, but worked my way to that starting position.
Not surprised one bit after watching you play the last several years at Walker Valley, because obviously being the voice of the Cherokees on the basketball side, I've seen some Walker Valley and McMinn County games not go the way we wanted it to in black and gold, and it's funny that we talk, and I'll ask you this. Do you feel like as a Walker Valley alum that is McMinn the biggest rival that you all had in terms of maybe basketball, but also just in general of all sports? Who did the student population want to beat the most?
I would say for us, especially once the districts split up, our
Yeah.
rival would be Cleveland. That's just because we're both like super
So close.
close and everything like that. But I would say for the longest time when we were in the the 7-team district, that McMinn was seen as our rival just because, especially before my junior year, I don't think we had beat them in 7 years. So I was like, okay, it's time. It's time for that train to end. And so since then, I don't think McMinn's beat us
Yeah,
since
it's
I was able to play. So I would say that they definitely became our rival. But when we split into four, just because Cleveland's such a big name and we're all from there,
right.
that Cleveland became our rival.
Was there? I've heard different things about Bradley County being open zone. Was there ever any other opportunity that you wanted to go to Cleveland or Bradley Central, or was Walker Valley just closer to home and that's where you wanted to go play?
So I actually started off at Bradley.
Okay.
So I was there my freshman year and halfway through my sophomore year. And I almost went to Cleveland when I transferred. But I just felt like Walker Valley was the best for me just because they were going to let me play the style that I wanted to play. And their coaches, not just Linus, but also the Salisvilles, really instilled that confidence in me. Like, hey, you're good enough to play at this level. Like, just go out there, have fun, and play. And I really need confidence from a coach. That's the only way I can play. If I don't think you believe in me, then I can't play underneath you. So I felt the love and want for me to be there from Walker Valley, and that was the ultimate decision.
Obviously, you bring up that point of starting at Bradley. You've got Grace Phillips that's on the team. So, and I'm sure being in that Cleveland area, y'all probably played either AAU or against each other, stuff like that. So you two have been around a winning program in Bradley Central. How much experience can you all take from that level, even just playing against Bradley Central, to bring to the collegiate level?
I mean, it's definitely something that, like, once you're a part of that program, you see what it takes to have a winning program. It's discipline. It's starting on the defensive end. Like, they have a big post, but a lot of their points come from the defensive end. Their defense gets them going. So really locking down on the defensive end and on any team gets you going, and that's what I took from that program is like defense first and offense will come from defense. So I think that's something you can also bring to the collegiate level, and I think that was proven in the UPike game when we locked down in defense, and that ended us in a win.
That was a huge win on the road, and kind of one of those I'm keeping up with it at home, and it's been a while, and then I look at the score, and it's like overtime victory. And I was like, oh, wow, because UPike, they're a newcomer to the conference. It's a long road trip. It's a kind of an unusual World War II gym is what it is. It's a old airplane hangar from World War II, but it's just a different place to play. But that's two big wins in a row now if you take care of CIU tonight. Obviously, you're here. You're one of the top scorers, and it's been a benefit to have you on the court, but let's talk about off the court a little bit. What is kind of your goal here as far as what you're trying to study? You mentioned you're going to go to Cleveland State or something like that first, but now coming to Wesleyan, a four-year school, what are you looking to study? And you don't have to be decided. That always trips up some people, but what's your plans?
So right now I'm majoring in elementary education. So I plan after my 4 years, obviously, to go work in an elementary school. And while I'm working, I plan to get my master's. I either want to get my master's in special education or physical education, just so that down the road I can teach upper grade levels. But to start out, I want to be a kindergarten teacher, so that's my plan for right now.
Starting at the kindergarten level,
Yes.
I like that. I've got a first grader at home, and his one of the best teachers that we've ever seen. He had her in first grade. She's an alum up here, and he still talks about her to this day. So it's cool to see the impact you can have at even an early age. And I assume that coaching is in the future. If you're already kind of you're trying to help Walker Valley a little bit, I would think coaching is in the future, right?
Yes, I've thought about coaching, so just trying to get my feet a little wet and be an intern throughout the summer and just go and trying to see how they develop a system, because obviously they're new coaches as well. This is only their second year, so they're rebuilding their system, and I'm just trying to pick bits and pieces of what they do and hopefully maybe one day implement it in my own team.
Well, I mean, sitting here talking to you, if I didn't know you, I would not think that you're in your first year in the collegiate level. It sounds like you're ready to graduate now. We don't want you to graduate right now. You know, 3 more years after this one with Jalea Lindsay would be outstanding. But I'm happy that it worked out. And Coach Tucker, I'm going to have to give Coach Tucker a call and tell him that it worked out really well for you to just show up here and help out. And it works out that way sometimes. So.
It does.
Well, Jalea, I appreciate you joining us. Outstanding run so far in the season. Keep that going. 12 points per game, 12.1 points per game coming into tonight. Third on the team, but it's y'all are starting to click. It looks like so. We'll be with you on the road at Montreat Saturday, but best of luck at Reinhardt on Wednesday. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So Jalea Lindsay, the freshman from Walker Valley, coming to play at Tennessee Wesleyan, and as she said, just showing up to help. Intern coach with Walker Valley, her former program, and just kind of falls right into it and essentially falls into her lap of being able to join the Lady Bulldogs here under Coach Jason Smith. And she is right. The Walker Valley Lady Mustangs have taken the last several of the Lady Cherokees, and that brings up a good point that we will be back in action on Friday night at Walker Valley, where the Lady Bulldogs will look to get, Lady Cherokees will look to get back into the win column after a tough loss at Cleveland, and then the guys will look to keep the district win streak alive as they beat Cleveland on last Friday night by 10. So we'll see if they can do that on the road at Walker Valley. Again, we'll have that one 6 and 7:30 tip-off, and then we'll be with you at Montreat and Tennessee Wesleyan from Kimmel Arena in Asheville, North Carolina on Saturday at 2 and 4 o'clock for those tip-offs. So that's our next two broadcasts. We're ready to go out of the halftime break. Quickly run down some numbers for you. Both teams shooting exactly 13 of 37 from the field, 35.1%. Wesleyan 2 of 11, 18% from behind the arc. CIU 0 of 14 from 3 after one of the best three-point shooting teams in the conference. 5 turnovers to 2 turnovers in favor of the Rams as the Rams get started quickly after a Davis jumper on the perimeter, or on the short corner. It's a 4-point lead, 15 seconds here into the second half. Reed, Hurst, West, Coronado as Reed answers right back for Tennessee Wesleyan, and Young out there for Tennessee Wesleyan. Leading scorers, Coronado with 7. You got Brandon Hunt with 10 for each team. Now Reed with 8 points leads the team there. Out of bounds it goes off of Wesleyan's Young, it looks like. Wesleyan got 4 points off of 2 turnovers. Rams got 8 points off of 5 turnovers by the Bulldogs. Rebounds, Bulldogs out rebounding them 26 to 17. 6 offensive, 20 defense. Defensive as a sky hook in there by Wysong is good, and it's a 4-point game once again. We're just 45 seconds in, and there's been 3 shots. Back and forth we go. Bulldogs only 1 steal. Rams had 3 currently. Both teams assisting on 5 shots. Here's West off the feed from Hurst. Gets into the paint, gets his own rebound, goes up, gets the floater. Wanted the foul call, but the ball ended up back in his lap, and nobody else was looking, so he'll just flip it up and make the score. Good job by Peyton West to stay with the play right there. WJSQ, WLAR, Athens, Tennessee, Jared Wright bringing you this Appalachian Athletic Conference matchup. Wesleyan hosting CIU. It's going to be a 3-pointer by Kelly off the mark. Coronado skies for the board for Wesleyan. Here comes Hurst pushing the pace. Hurst gets it to Reed on the left wing. Reed bounces it down low to Coronado. Coronado, a little sky hook, and it's in there for the Spaniard. Back to an 8-point game here. 2 minutes gone so far. Second half of action. It's going to be Warga going in. Hurst stripped him on it, and Hurst standing out of bounds tried to flip it up in the air for the Bulldogs, but just an outstanding hustle play by the Knoxville, Tennessee native right there. It'll be Warga to inbound it underneath. Hunt, Davis, Wysong, and Kelly, the 5 out there for the Rams. Top of the key, Wysong drives left side. Lay-in is good as he took Jay Reed all the way to the rim. Here's Young, comes near side, gives it to Hurst. Now West and Hurst trying to figure out the play call, and they set everything back up. Here's Hurst. Now Young near side. Young cuts in to the middle of defenders looking for help out. Gets stuck. And now they get a timeout called by the Bulldogs. We'll take it with them. 41-35. Tennessee Wesleyan in front. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Back here from James L. Robb Gymnasium, Bulldogs called the timeout as Amari Young had gotten stuck on the low block in a double team and could not have an angle to pass it out, so smartly the senior calls the timeout. They'll have it underneath on the left side. It's going to be Hurst to key it in. Gets it into West, and then West throws it right back to Hurst, but Hurst had cut inside. So another missed opportunity here for Tennessee Wesleyan. 2.5 minutes gone. Davis bringing it across the time stripe. Wesleyan up 41-35, led by as many as 13 in the first half, 8 here in the second half. Backdoor pass deflected. Hurst comes away with the loose ball after West and Cordado help corral it. Now Reed loses the handle. Davis picks his pocket. Turnover city here for the Bulldogs. Floater in the lane by Davis, no good. Tip back by Wasong is. And a second chance point for the Rams. Gets it to a 4-point game. 41-37. West gives it to Young. Young at the Bulldog logo at midcourt. 5-second call had started on him. Hands it off to Hurst, guarded by Kelly. Now Davis switches off. West has it far side. Gives it to Young. Young lobs it down low to Cordado. It got shoved by Warga. Gets it to Hurst, and Hurst knocks down the three right in front of the Wesleyan bench. Cordado went flying as he tried to get the pass inside as Warga shoved him from one block to the other. But Cordado gets the assist off the Ty Hurst three. Davis, top of the key to Kelly it goes. Kelly trying to work against West, and West going to pick up the third. That one he anticipated and jumped out there, but Neverton going to check in for West. He was checking himself out with three. Warga going to key it inside out of bounds for the Rams. Comes into Davis. Davis bounces over to Wasson. 15 to shoot. Davis gets it to Kelly. Now they get it to Warga, right corner, guarded by Hurst. Top of the key. Everybody for Wesleyan trying to collapse on it, and the floater from Kelly is good. Here's Hurst, left wing. Hurst brings it all the way to the top of the key, now comes back left side. Neverton gets it. Far side, back to Hurst on the pass. Hurst has enough room to get the three off, bounces up and just off the front of the rim. Rams had left him open momentarily. Here's Davis, 44-39. Rams turn it over here as Neverton picks up the steal up to Young. Young, finger roll, missed it, but he'll get two shots coming. Warga's gonna pick up the foul. Let's double check. Yep, that's gonna be his first, team first of the half, and Mar Young's gonna get two free throws at the line. Young, 65% shooter on the season. Step to the line, 15-17 remaining. As Young makes the first one. 45-39. Warga out of the ball game. Jeter back in. Cordado out and Hardrick back in for Tennessee Wesleyan. Young, second one in and out. That one goes rattled hard and falls out into the hands of Kelly. Will Kelly with it, right wing, gets it up to Hunt. Off a screen from Wasong, misses the three. Wasong comes in about committing his 4th foul, but Hurst able to maintain the possession of the rebound. Lob down low to Jay Reed, working against Brandon Hunt. Back out front to Young, over to Neverton. Thought about the shot, now Young. AAC logo, bounces it down low to Reed. Reed goes in, trying to body up the defenders and missed the shot. Tipped back by Hurst, no good. And the Rams collect the defensive board. 45-39, Bulldogs in front still. Haven't trailed since 17 and a half minutes to play in the first. It has been a fight. Hunt trying to take another three. This one is good for Brandon Hunt from the far wing. 3-point game. One possession. Here's Young with it. And Wesleyan will call the timeout. Coach Casey has seen the lead dwindle to 3. They want to talk this one over. With 14-13 to go, Wesleyan up 45-42. Full timeout on the court. We'll be back in 60 seconds. WGHQ, WLAR, Athens, Tennessee. Bulldogs still in the timeout huddle trying to figure it out. Coach Casey drawing it up as they have seen their second half lead as many as 8. Just 3.5 minutes ago, now dwindled down to 3. Still 14-13 left in this one. A lot of ball game left. It's a 45-42 ball game. Wesleyan in front. Clark checks in. They've almost gone to a 1-3-1 zone. That's exactly what CIU is in. Young has his pass deflected to the student section out of bounds. So Bulldogs will keep it with 10 seconds to shoot on the clock. They've got Neverton, Hardrick, Reed, Young, and Hurst. Young fakes the pass, goes all the way in. Pass deflected as he was trying to get it out to Hardrick on the cut. He's trying to work it inside out, and it didn't. Now here comes Kelly, drops it to Wasong. Wasong looking, backdoor cut by Jeter and blocked by Reed. That was all ball, and the late whistle is going to get Reed for his first foul of the ball game. Second on the Bulldogs, and that will send Jalen Jeter to the line. That one, Jay Reed pinned that one clearly, no body. And so Jeter, 95% shooter from the stripe. That is not a guy you want to foul in a late game situation. Cuts it to 2. 45-43. Warga back in as Hunt will check out. And Jeter, as expected, makes both at the line. 1-point game. Tennessee Wesleyan has Ty Runyon in at the point as Young takes a seat. Comes near side to Hardrick. Now Runyon flips it overside to Neverton. Cross court pass to Hurst. Now in. Back to Hurst from Reed. Hurst for 3. In and out it goes. Trying to run and grab it and throws it out of off of the Rams. Hurst on the deck. Finally gets back up. Now Jeter in transition. 3-pointer off the mark. Hurst comes flying in and steals the pass. Clark was trying to get the pass back out to someone, and Hurst comes out of nowhere and intercepts it. Neverton for 3, left wing, missed it. Hurst glides with Warga underneath, and it'll stay with Wesleyan, 20 to shoot. Lavorne will check in for Reed. Hurst going to key it in underneath. 13 minutes to play exactly. 45-44. CIU's Jeter deflects it and then steps out of bounds on the fast break as he and Neverton were battling for it. So the Bulldogs avoiding trouble there. We'll have another opportunity. I'll say no change of possession though, so shot clock at 19. CIU has flipped to like a 1-3-1 zone the last couple of trips down. That's what they still are trying here. Neverton with it on the right wing. Now Runyon top of the key. Almost now a 2-3 instead. Cross court pass. Runyon has it top of the key. Goes through. Little finger roll, missed it. Ball tipped around into the hands of Wysong, and CIU has a chance to regain the lead. Wysong into the paint. Kicks back to Jeter for three. Jeter missed it. Rebound by Wysong. Clark into the paint, throws it to Wysong, and then Runyon tied up with Wysong. Is going to draw the third team foul and his second one for Tennessee Wesleyan. Jeter has had some looks. You got to think he's going to knock one down eventually. Well, he'll have to wait because he just got taken out for J.J. Vaughn, and Davis returns. 12.5 to play, 45-44 your score. It's been a minute and 15 since we've had a bucket. It's going to be Vaughn with it. Neverton faces him up defensively. Clark, top of the key. Lavorne driving. Missed shot inside. Ball tipping around. Here comes Neverton with it. Across half court. Gets it to Hurst in transition. Hurst layup is good, and the block called for the and one opportunity as Ty Hurst is going to go to the line. No argument from Coach Stockman. He's telling Reed to go straight up. 12-16 to play, and it's back to a three-point game with Ty Hurst. Chance to make it a two-possession game here. Hurst leading the way with 11 points for Tennessee Wesleyan. Bottom on that one. 4-point lead. 12-16 to play. Bulldogs battling the number one team in the conference down wire to wire. Wysong catches the middle of the court. Now Vaughn thought about a three, goes baseline, double teamed by Hurst and Reed, and Hurst gets him slapped on the arm, first on Ty. It's going to be 4 on the Bulldogs. Be an inbound underneath. Ball was stuck down in that low corner. Wysong out, Hunt back in for the Rams. That's a 6'6" trade for a 6'9" as far as height goes. Pass deflected, ball loose. Neverton comes away with it. Behind the back dribble he goes. Trying to shed some defenders, goes up. Double pumps the layup, missed. Hurst put back no good. Ball battling, and it's going to go out of bounds off of Wesleyan. That ball was tipped around volleyball style a couple of times, and I'm going to say it went out off of Charles. Lavorne almost intercepts the inbounds pass in front of Davis. Instead, it's Warga now on the front court. 48-44. Bulldogs in front by 4. Under 12 to play. Clark with it on the wing. Gets it high post to Hunt, who steps out to the perimeter. Now it's Vaughn. They're wanting to get him free for a three-pointer. They can. Warga down low to Clark. Clark lost the handle on it, and the Bulldogs will take the turnover the other way. Clark had a wide open look and just the absence of anybody around him on the pick and roll. Got him free. Tipped out of bounds by Davis. And Wysong going to check right back in for Clark after he fumbled that one. So Coach Stockman making some quick changes. Runyon gets it across the time stripe. Lavorne, short corner to Hurst. Pump fake, got one defender in the air. Long baseline feed to Neverton for three. Rebound missed. Hurst there to clean it up. Hurst fadeaway jumper, no good. And it's going to be Hunt to clear it up defensively. Couple of back-to-back possessions for the Bulldogs there, just not able to find the bottom of the bucket. Runyon trying to stay right there with Davis. Davis gets into the paint. Wesleyan had Reed push straight into his player by Hunt, but Wesleyan avoids any damage on the scoreboard. Still a 4-point game, 10.5 to go. Hampton coming back to the table. Here's Reed trying to take Hunt on. Just skies up for a right-handed shot, missed it. And here comes the Rams once again. 48-44 your score. It's been slow going here in the second half. 15-13 to the Rams' advantage. And now make that 17-13 as it's 10-14 left to go, and it's a 2-point game. Timeout by CIU. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll be right back in 30. Back here from James L. Robb Gymnasium, Tennessee Wesleyan and Columbia International on the men's side coming down to the wire. Wesleyan women won 23 points earlier tonight. Men trying to make it a sweep on the evening and also a sweep of the regular season against CIU. Be the only team that's given them 2 losses. The only 2 losses they would have on the year. Here's Hurst, baseline feed, and it's good on the jumper. Hurst just skying for that one. Bulldogs have had a couple of shots down the stretch here that have looked good, like they're going to fall and just rim out on them. They've had to buckle down defensively. Warga with it, feeds it to Vaughn on the cut. Vaughn touch shot off the glass is good. Made that one look really easy. Hampton in the ballgame with Runyon in the backcourt. Runyon trying to work against Vaughn. Gets by Vaughn, goes into the lane, kicks it out to Lavorne. Another 3 from the left wing, and it's just off the back iron. Lavorne drifting back defensively. It's going to be a 3-pointer for Vaughn. It's short. Reed battles Wysong with it and wins. Kicks it to Runyon, up to Hampton. It's a 3-on-3 break. Hurst goes in, double pumps, and gets the foul call as he was taking a shot. It glanced off the bottom of the backboard, but he'll take the 2 free throws either way. Warga's going to pick up his 3rd. And the 3rd on the Rams. So Hampton coming to talk to Coach Casey while Ty Hurst takes these free throws. Hurst first one is nothing but net there. 51-48, back to a 3-point game with 9:13 to play. And we'll be back in action Friday night here on WJSQ for McMinn at Walker Valley, District 5 4A matchup, doubleheader, 6 and 7:30. And then right back with Tennessee Wesleyan the next day on Saturday, 2 and 4 from Montreat. That will be played at UNC Asheville's Arena, Kimmel Arena in Asheville, North Carolina. Hurst makes both of them back to a 4-point game. Hampton guarding Davis in the backcourt. Now they get across the time stripe. Davis looking left now, bounces it over to Warga. Feed inside to Wysong. Spins left, and Lavorne just swats it away. Lavorne skying up, straight into the hands of Runyon. Here comes Hurst off the baseline feed. Lost the handle. Lavorne able to clean it up. Finds Hampton, far corner for 3. Off the back iron. Wesleyan just struggling from 3 tonight. 3 of 18 now. Under 17% they go from behind the arc. They averaged 34.9. and has been a struggle. Saw the Wesleyan women struggle with the 3-pointer earlier as well. Feed down low. Hampton got his hand in the passing lane, deflects it into the hands of Reed. Here come the Bulldogs. Reed circling it around, looking for help. Lavorne picks up the loose ball, finds open Ty Runyon right side for 3, and it's good for Ty Runyon. Bulldogs finally get over that 4-point hurdle, and they're up by 7 with 8:05 to play. Good awareness by Lavorne to send that out to Runyon. Gets the assist. Runyon, as his player went down, Hampton blocks the ball out of bounds. Really about swiped it away as Warga hit the deck, and Coach Stockman out on the court looking for a foul call. Official tells him he got the hand on the ball, so that's why it wasn't a foul. Jeter will return along with Clark as Hunt and Davis will take a seat. Hunt and Davis, part of the trio from CIU on that preseason AAC roster to watch. Lavorne blocks another shot inside. This time, though, it's picked up by the Rams. They find Warga in the near corner, and Warga airballs a three into the hands of Rashawn Hampton. Hampton pushing the pace, lost the handle. Out of bounds off of CIU, though. It was Will Kelly that went diving for it. So Stratton Lavorne having himself quite a night. Made the three at the buzzer at the half and blocking two big shots here. Down the stretch, 7.5 to go, 55-48. Wesleyan in front by 7. Hampton to Runyon, and another miscommunication. Runyon able to chase it down in the front court. 10 to shoot. Runyon step back three is in there. Runyon back-to-back three-pointers, and the Bulldogs up by 10. 7:20 to go. Here's Jeter. Jeter, top of the key, sends it off to Warga. Warga, spin move to the right block. Out front goes to Clark. Clark loses his footing, picks the ball back up though. And Warga's got it, looking for a screen from Wysong. Warga takes a three and he answers back. 58-51. Both teams trading some three-point baskets. Wesleyan now ahead in this half, 23-22. 58-51 overall. Here's Hurst trying to get into the three-point, and he finally does. Maybe Ty Runyon has knocked the lid off the basket as the Bulldogs have made their last three attempts from behind the arc. Runyon twice, and now Hurst. 61-51 again. 10-point lead. Warga, top of the key, calling for some help, calling for a screen. Wysong sets it, now switches and sets an opposite side. Hampton gets called for the foul and at least stops the momentum there of Warga. Sean Hampton picks up his first, team fifth. And it's going to be Reed checking out, Hardrick back in. Wysong going to key it inside out of bounds. Lavorne guarding the inbounds. Hunt on the baseline. Hardrick trying to guard him. He and Hardrick got tied up, no call. Rebound tipped away. Hunt able to get it. Now Hardrick and him still battling. Hurst comes away with it. A lot of contact, no whistles. Officials are letting them play through a lot of it right now. Now Hardrick has a pass deflected, and that one's got to be a foul as Hurst gets tackled in the side by Hunt, going for a loose ball, and Hurst was there and took a shot to the kidneys, it looked like. This one's going to be on Hunt. Coach Stockman pleading with the near side official for maybe some similar calls, he feels like. Wesleyan will get some moisture cleaned up on the floor as Wysong will check out. 4 team fouls for the Rams. Lavorne going to key it in, far side. Lavorne gets it in to Runyon, guarded tightly by Jeter. 5:56 to play. 61-51, Tennessee Wesleyan in control right now. Hampton guarded by Davis. Behind the back dribble, lost it, gets it to Hardrick. Hardrick gets the shot up and in as the defender got his hand stuck in the net. That's a 12-point game for the Bulldogs, one shy of their largest lead. 5:45 to play. Here's Davis, top of the key, drops it over to Hunt. Hunt gets a screen from Clark. Instead, he'll pop back and shoot a three and missed it. Rebound tipped into the hands of Jeter. Rams will get a fresh 20. Jeter, mismatch, trying to take on Hardrick, the post player. Couple of spin moves, the bucket and the foul is going to be good. And this one is going to be on Ty Runyon. Ty's third, team sixth. And so Jeter for the and one opportunity at the line. 5:24 to play here. Makes it and one. Substitution, Jay Reed coming back in here for Tennessee Wesleyan as the lead has gone under double digits once again. 63-54, 5:24 to go. Reed returns. It's Lavorne, Hampton, Runyon, Reed, and Hurst. Hurst near corner, overplayed, steps inside for a long two and knocks down the baseline jumper. One of the hardest shots in basketball, and Ty Hurst makes it look easy. Jeter with it on the perimeter, lobs it down low. Hurst deflects the inbound pass, trying to get it to Clark. Hampton picks up the loose ball, gets it right back to Hurst, guarded by Clark. Over to Runyon it goes. Of course, Wesleyan with Peyton West on the bench with 3 fouls. It's a tough take. Hampton's 3 off the back iron. Here's a little Euro step through the lane. Ball tipped up, lands right into Ty Runyon's lap as it was Will Kelly that missed it. West coming back to the scorer's table now. Cordado and Young also the starters setting right now, as this group has been playing really well down the stretch. Runyon, little floater in the lane, up and over his shoulder is good, and Ty Runyon, 13-point lead once again for the Bulldogs with 4:15 to play. Out front, it's going to be Davis. Sends it up to Hunt. Hunt going left side against Reed. Reed's going to get called for the foul on the take, and at least that'll let the Bulldogs get some of these fresh legs back into the ball game. Reed's going to pick up his second, team 7th, though. So with 4 minutes left, we'll pick up their 7th foul. 4 fouls for the Rams thus far in the half. Hunt makes the first one, 67-55. Bulldogs will see Runyon and Hampton take a breather. Those guys have played some much hard-fought minutes to deserve a rest right here. West and Young in on the line to rebound as Hunt misses the second free throw. 4 minutes to play, 67-55. Bulldogs in front of the Rams. West controlling the point here. Goes left wing to Hurst. Hurst looking between his legs. Step back 3. Off to the left. Wysong able to collect it. Gets it up to Davis. Davis lost the handle. Somehow flips it back to Hunt. Stuck on the baseline. Hurst and West were trying to double team. Top of the key. Warga for 3. Off the back iron. Lavorne. Big outstretched arms get the rebound. Clears it out to Young. Tennessee Wesleyan shooting 39% from the field now. CIU 35%. A little save here by Davis as he goes flying out of bounds. Gets it up. Transition bucket missed by Wysong. Stripped on the way up by Reed, and Young collects it. So both teams going cold the last couple of trips down from the floor without the free throws. And 3:02 to play. Hurst out front with it. 67-55. Hurst gets tripped up going down the lane. This one's going to be on 4, Will Kelly. That's his first foul. 5th team foul, and so Ty Hurst is going to go to the charity stripe for the Bulldogs. He's got 21 points on the night, 7 rebounds as well. Brandon Hurst was 16, 10 for Johnny Wysong for the Rams. 10 for Ty Runyon, 5 boards and 2 assists. As Ty Hurst converts the first one, 68-55. Again, that 13-point lead, the largest of the game now for the 3rd time. And we've got a new largest lead, 69-55. 2:58 to go. Timeout called by Tennessee Wesleyan, up 69-55. We'll be back in 60 seconds, back in 60. WJSQ, WLAR, Athens, Tennessee. Jared Wright here from Dwayne Farmer Court inside James L. Robb Gymnasium, campus of Tennessee Wesleyan University, right here off of Highway 30, Green Street. As Wesleyan will have full court pressure shown against the Rams here, up 69-55. Bulldogs officials making sure the clock was good, and it was. 2:58 was showing when Ty Hurst connected on the 2 free throws. It'll start now that Will Kelly gets the inbounds from Davis, gets it right back to him. They play pass and catch in the backcourt. Across the time stripe they go. West guarding Kelly here. Kelly looking to get it back door. Now they go left side to Warga. Warga down low feed on the right to Hunt. Hunt passes it off to Davis. Reed switches off. Sends it out to Warga for 3, and Warga gets fouled, and the and one coming. Ty Hurst does the unthinkable, fouling the three-point shooter. And he knew it as soon as he hit him. Warga goes to the line, 2:33 to play. It's an 11-point game. And the and one is good. So the old rare 4-point play makes it a 10-point game, 69-59. 8 team fouls. Here's Young trying to drop it off to Reed. Now an interception and thrown right back to Jay Reed from the Rams. Wesleyan, 2:15 to go, trying to bleed some clock off here with a 10-point lead. West looking around, trying to work against Kelly, gets it over to Hurst against Warga. Spins down low, gets the touch off the glass, and it's good for Ty Hurst. He's got 23 points and a 12-point lead, 1:55 to play. Bulldogs average 8-point margin of victory. Ty Hurst, Warga was trying to get another foul. That was a little bit of a flop on that 3-point miss. Here's Hurst. Kicks it out to Lavorne, and they'll reset out front with 1:35 to go, up by 12. The fans and the Robb can fill it here. 14 to shoot. Young out there at the half line. Reed came to set a screen. Young calls him off. 7 to shoot. Young trying to take his defender and Hunt all the way to the rim. Fade away from the right side of the lane is good for Amari Young. 14-point advantage once again with 1:15 to play. The Bulldogs on the verge of knocking off the #1 team in the conference once again here at home. Hurst tips out the rebound after the missed 3 by Kelly. Young, head fake. Now he'll circle it around as we go under 60 seconds to play. 73-59. Hurst goes all the way in. Shovel pass over to Reed before Reed can miss the layup. It's going to be a foul on Hunt, his third, as he collided with Hurst, and it's going to be underneath inbounded. Hurst was passing it off. 52.8 showing on the game clock. 73-59. Bulldogs just got to protect the ball here. Now a foul by Hunt with 48.6 remaining. For the second straight home game, the Bulldogs have the #1 team in the conference on the ropes. CIU's only loss on the season was to Tennessee Wesleyan back in November as Reed converts the first free throw. So it was the 7th team foul. So 15-point game. Reed's second one short off the rim into the hands of Hunt. He'll clear it out to Warga, far side. Warga takes another 3. Missed it. Lavorne with a big rebound. It's tipped over to Reed. Gets it over to West. It doesn't look like CIU is at least going to foul. They're going to pressure the ball, but of course down by 15 points. No need to foul with 27 seconds to go. Wesleyan's Young trying to get away from Warga. And CIU still be near the top of the standings even with 2 losses in the conference, but Young, finger roll on the left side is good for Amari Young. As the shot clock was winding down, had to go score. now 7 seconds to play, and Young's going to steal the pass at the end. 4 seconds to go and just dribble out the clock as Bulldogs make it 2 wins in a row at home. Of course, sandwiching the loss at Pikeville, but they moved to 6-10. 6-10 overall, 5-6 in the conference, and now 3-4 here at home. And they have won their last 2 ball games again. Lost the last 2 ball games won the last 2 ball games at home. Correction, reading the wrong words there on my sheet, but nonetheless, they knock off Bryan last week when Bryan was the #1 team in the conference. And now they take care of CIU, who drops to 14-2 overall, 9-2 in the conference. Their unblemished road record of 4-0 now has a 1 in the loss column, and it snaps their 10-game winning streak, just like Bulldogs snapped an 8-game winning streak by Bryan last Wednesday night. So again, Bulldogs had a tough battle here tonight. It was the Rams that got it down to 1 point with about 6 minutes into this second half, but then the Bulldogs rally back late, pushed the lead back up to 10, and then never looked back. Ended it with a 17-point win against the #1 team in the conference here at home. Again, the final score before we take a 2-minute break, Tennessee Wesleyan 76, CIU 59, back from James L. Robb in 2 minutes. Back here from James L. Robb, where it's a sweep on the night for Tennessee Wesleyan against Columbia International. And the Rams will head back to Columbia, South Carolina, at least on the men's side, with 2 losses. And those 2 losses are to Tennessee Wesleyan. Bulldogs, as Coach Randy Casey and I talked about it before the game, he said the key is the pace, and they pushed the pace most of the game, and it paid off dividends for them. It got close down, as we mentioned, early in the second half, where it was a little bit of a run from the Rams that got it to 45-44 before Wesleyan could rattle off some more buckets, push that lead back up to a 2-possession game, hovered around the 3 to 4 point differential. And then it was back-to-back threes by Ty Runyon, who finally got the lid off the 3-ball a little bit. Bulldogs struggled from behind the arc early, only hitting 6 of 23 overall for the game, 26%. CIU, who is the top team in the conference in shooting behind the arc, only 10% tonight, 3 of 28. Bulldogs did a good job of guarding that line, but also just some bad shooting by CIU as well. Team-wise, Bulldogs end up shooting 41.8% from behind the arc, 28 of 67. They assist on 13 of 28 made shots. CIU 24 of 69 for 34.8%, only 8 assists on 24 made shots. Free throws, it was 14 of 16 for the Bulldogs, 87.5% compared to 8 of 11, 72.7% for the Rams. Turnovers, both teams 10 apiece. Bulldogs only 8 points off of those turnovers, 12 points for the Rams off the turnovers. And the other key stat that I know Coach Randy Casey is going to talk about is the rebounding for the Bulldogs. 46 rebounds to 34, and CIU with a little bit more height, at least on the score sheets, than Tennessee Wesleyan. So you expect that to be closer, but the Bulldogs handle court on the rebounding stat. 10 offensive, 36 defensive, 9 offensive, 25 defensive for the Rams. Again, the assists 13-8 in favor of Wesleyan. Blocks 3-1 in favor of Tennessee Wesleyan, 2 of those being Stratton Lavorne's big-time blocks, and both teams with 7 steals apiece. Looking at your individual scorers, let's start with CIU first. Brandon Hunt, the big man, goes 6 of 14 from the field, 10 rebounds, 16 points to lead their scores. Johnny Wasong has 10 points, 6 boards on 5 of 7, shooting all from inside. Reed Warga with 9 points, 2 boards, and 3 assists. He was 2 of 8 from behind the line and had the 4-point play after the Ty Hurst foul. And then 8 points by Will Kelly was kind of their next leading scorer, and all those guys kind of held well below their average. On the other side for the Bulldogs, it's Ty Hurst pacing the way, really helped put the team on his shoulders. It's Ty and Ty show there late in the second half. 25 points for Hurst, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. He was 8 of 18 from the field, 2 of 6 from behind the arc, but then 7 of 7 from the charity stripe, which helped seal this victory. Ty Runyon, as we mentioned, 2 clutch three-pointers on 3 of 8 shooting from the field, 2 of 4 from behind the arc, 2 of 2 from the line for his 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Jay Reed with 9 points, 8 rebounds, 9 points. Amari Young with 10 rebounds to his 9 points and 2 assists. And then Manny Cordado, 9 points, 6 boards. And Coach Casey's got him all tangled up here, it looks like, as Coach Randy Casey has joined us. And, Coach, if you take the road game to Pikeville, which I know it was a win for you getting to see your family and your grandkids and your daughter, but if you take that away, your last 2 wins on this floor have been the number 1 teams in the conference. And tonight it looked to be the Ty and Ty show in the second half that helped give you that victory.
Oh, there's no question. You know, everybody that played contributed, first and foremost.
Yep.
But, you know, Ty Runyon really stepped up in the second half. Ty Hurst, those guys kind of took over for us. And, you know, Ty Hurst and Ty Runyon both made big shots.
Yeah.
And when we needed big shots, they were trying to make a run, and we kept answering. They kept trying to make a run. We keep answering. You know, so, you know, I was very pleased. Jay Reed, in the first half especially, was really effective, you know, around the rim. Manny Cordado early in the game was effective around the rim. You know, he's a freshman. He's going to be really good before it's over. But you know, I'm so proud of our seniors that just step up, man. And then Amari Young comes back after sitting over there. He little knee issue he's dealing with, and comes back and closes the game. You know, he's our closer, and that's what I told him. You know, Ty's cramping here. Go close the game, and that's what he did. So, you know, I was really pleased. Stratton Lovern, great minutes from him too. You know, it's
2
good
of
to
the
have
biggest
him back.
blocks I've seen this year, and at clutch times where he just swats them at the rim down here.
Yeah.
And then he hits a couple of threes that were big, or at least one. I know I'm checking.
At the end of the
he
half,
did hit too. Hit the buzzer beater at the half, and another one in the second half. But I thought Ty, it felt like the 3-ball was just a struggle for you all. Obviously, you held CIU, who is the best 3-point shooting team, to a very small amount. But Ty Runyon got back-to-back 3-pointers and then followed up by a Ty Hurst 3-pointer sandwiched in between. But it seemed to take the lid off there and just help you all kind of seal this victory down the stretch.
Well, no question. You know, the thing about it is you know, our film and scout preparation is tremendous. Jaron Tall does a great job of breaking down film and putting the scouting reports together for us. And you know, we couldn't do what we do without him. He's my right-hand man. And you know, so we know their actions. We knew what they were going to do, and you know, we sat on a lot of their stuff. You know, they made some shots. We had a few breakdowns, but we sat on their stuff. And you know, and we were waiting on them. You know, when we beat them to the spots a lot of times, and when that happens, they're not used to that. They're used to coming off those staggers and all that stuff clean. And tonight they couldn't because we're attached to them.
Obviously, when you look at their roster, they've got some height compared to maybe, you know, Cordado's your biggest guy. You've got Hardrick and Reed that can play big, and Lavorne, Stratton in there. But you out-rebound them 46-34. That's got to be huge, and a lot of those on the offensive end were helping you as well.
Oh, no question. You know, that's one of our goals is to be plus 10, you know, in the rebounding category. Early in the year, we weren't close to that, but now every game we're right at it or close to it. You know, and 2 stats that we really harp on, you we rebounding. We want to be plus 10 and assists. When we're close to 15 assists, we win, and it's that simple. Assists go up, turnovers go down. Everything makes everything better. And we're at what 13 tonight? 13 assists.
Right on your average.
Yeah.
13 to 28 made shots is big.
Yeah. So those things. When we share the ball and move the ball, and the big thing is, once we got going in the first half, we're pushing the ball and advancing the ball and making them get up and down the floor a little bit faster than they wanted to. That's the same thing we did to them down there. Is we made them play faster than they wanted to, and we were able to get them going tonight. And when you make shots, it's easy to get people playing faster when you're making shots, and that's the way it was in the second half.
Obviously, this is kind of a low part of this, but you get 17 fouls with 4 minutes left, and at that point, you're up double-digit leads. But knowing that they're going to try to attack you, your guys buckled down, only had one more foul called on them in 4 minutes of play. Just talk about the intensity, but not too much to where they were putting them at the line.
That's the thing too. Is we've really worked on playing physical without fouling, keeping your hands back. Knowing when you can bump and when you can't, and things of that nature. And our guys are starting to understand. And actually, they're there. They're. Again, you think about the Bryan game. You think about tonight. We've got the crap out of both of them. And without fouling most of the time. So if we can go a whole half and only commit 8, that's tremendous for us. Because we were very foul prone early in the season. At times we'd have 4 or 5 guys sitting on the bench with 2 fouls in the first half. So and that's not the case anymore.
Obviously, you hit the road again. Unfortunately, you can't stay at home right now. Yeah. But you hit the road for the next 2 games. We'll be with you Saturday. But before we ever get to that at Montreat, we'll talk about Reinhardt tonight. And you go on the road. Reinhardt's kind of right there with you all. They're 5-6 going into tonight, or 5-4 going into tonight. Now you are 5-6 in the conference. So kind of even of the pack, but a chance to maybe make some ground up. What do you got to do against Reinhardt?
Again, we got to be prepared to go on the road. And the thing about it is travel and all that stuff, those things can easily be distractions if we let them. And at times this year we've let those things be distractions to us. And, maybe I probably on this past weekend I was probably distracted. But we've got to understand that it's a business trip, and we're going down there for 40 minutes of business, and we're going to come home with another W. And those guys are capable. Heck, I think they beat Pikeville already. So, and to me right now, Pikeville's playing as well as anybody in the conference. They certainly did against us on Saturday. So, but the thing about it is our guys have got to be ready to go, and we've got to. When I told them, I said your reward for winning this game tonight was get up and go to class in the morning. So we're getting back in the routine. The main thing is we're getting back in a routine. It's hard to do when you got guys, that they know they don't have to get up early the next day. They know that we're off. They know that they're in the dorm just hanging out, and they're playing 2K till 3 o'clock in the morning and all this stuff. And it's hard to stay in a good rhythm that way. But when we're back in a routine, going to class and doing all those things, then it's much easier for us.
Well, luckily Reinhardt's not as far of a trip as Pikeville, just a couple hours down 411 in the back roads to Wesleyan, Georgia. But Coach, great win again. Knocking off the #1 teams in the midweek in the weekday games has been fun here the last 2 weeks. So
no question.
Let's see if we can keep it rolling.
I told Ty Hurst, Dad, and Peyton West that just now. I said, listen, we're gonna put #1 in front of everybody we play from now on. So
I love
hopefully we can knock them all off.
I love it. Well, Coach, best of luck in Wesleyan against Reinhardt, and we'll see you Saturday, hopefully at Montreat. So
that's a deal. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Coach. Congrats on a big win. Another big win by the Bulldogs here on the men's side as they once again take care of the #1 team in the conference standings currently, as CIU picks up their 2nd loss, and they do it in convincing fashion. 17-point victory after the Lady Bulldogs had a 24-point victory tonight over the Lady Rams. So that'll wrap it up. Again, we'll be back in action Friday night with McMinn County from Walker Valley, 6 and 7:30 tip-off right here on WJSQ. And then back Saturday with the Bulldogs and Lady Bulldogs at 2 and 4 o'clock from Asheville, North Carolina, when they take on Montreat Cavaliers from Kimmel Arena. UNC Asheville playing host to them as the effects of Hurricane Helene damaging Montreat's campus. So it'll be fun to be in a big-time arena, and we'll see what the Bulldogs and Lady Bulldogs can do on the road Saturday. But again, Friday night with McMinn and Saturday with the Bulldogs, we will be back in action. Thank you to Coach Smith, Coach Casey for being with us. Thank you to Jalea Lindsay and Peyton West for joining us once again. Thank you to all of our sponsors here on WGSQ for bringing us this action, letting us bring this action to you all. And back at the station. And that'll wrap us up here for WGSQ WLR Sports. This is Jared Wright. Have a great night.